I'm Nick. I'm on a boat. I'm in Venice. And this is Vogalonga 2024.
This video is best viewed on a VR headset, but can also be viewed on a normal screen.
You can swipe or drag to look around or recenter on this frame for the main focus.
So why am I here in the San Marco Basin in Venice with thousands of other boaters? Well, every year Venice hosts the Vogalonga. Now, there's no literal translation in Italian for the word Vogalonga, but it roughly means long paddle. Now, we're not talking about the length of our paddle here, we're talking about the route. We're going to go roughly 30 kilometers or 18 miles through the Venetian Lagoon, up around Burano, then back through Murano, then back into Venice through Canal.
I'm sure that some of the fastest boats are in it for the win, but for most of us, it's not really a race, it's a party. Almost any boat is welcome, but only if it is human-powered. That means dragon boats, crew boats, Voga Veneta boats, which use the same rowing style as the famous Venetian gondolas. As long as your boat is propelled by a person or a crew of people with paddles, oars, pedal mechanisms, or whatever, you can register to race. Most of these crews are from boating clubs around Europe, people who can easily register, train, and transport their boats to Venice. Or you can do what I've done, rent a kayak from one of the local kayak tour companies and register as an individual. But if you're going to do that, you really should have experience with a touring kayak in open water. And you have to be ready to paddle over 30 kilometers straight.
And that brings us back here. We're all just waiting in the San Marco Basin for 9 o'clock when a cannon on the island of San Giorgio will fire, announcing the start. Then, about 8,000 people in 2,000 boats will take off through the Venetian Lagoon for the best party of the year.
Facciamoci vedere che siamo qui, da qui è una posizione fantastica, siamo meravigliosi, è una cosa eccezionale. Eccolo qua, esatto, è parecchio,
The route takes our racers southeast away from San Marco, down to the southern tip of Castello, where they turn north away from the main city. As they pass the island of Certosa, there are still a lot of boats grouped together. But there's plenty of time for the fast boats to pull ahead and for the crowding to lighten up during the long cruise toward Burano. During this leg, our racers see the island of Sant'Erasmo on one side. On the other, there are views of the undeveloped marshland, a glimpse of what the natural lagoon looked like before the city was developed here. As they approach Burano, we start to see some boats stopping for rest breaks on the secca, small dry areas in the marshy waterways. Soon the racers enter Burano. Some crews are met by friends and support teams for a brief rest. This is an opportunity to enjoy views of the beautiful island full of colorful houses. As they exit Burano through Mazzorbo Canal, there is a bit of a bottleneck. Some of the larger boats with long oars get clustered together, making it hard for anything to pass. It takes some careful maneuvering to undo the clustering and confusion. One by one, the racers are finally able to pass Mazzorbo, turning back southwest toward Murano and Venice. This section is where the name Vogalonga, or long paddle, feels the most appropriate. Our racers can look forward to over 4 kilometers straight through the open lagoon before the next major point of interest. The lighthouse ahead marks the entrance to Murano. A bit like a smaller version of Venice, Murano has its own Grand Canal and even more friends cheering on the racers. This is the last landmark before the final approach back into Venice.
So I'm passing through Murano. And once we leave Murano, we'll be pretty close. So let's see if we can talk to Luna on the phone. Luna, are you there?
I'm here. I'm waiting for you at the Tre Archi Bridge. And there are lots of boats from all over the world coming in. And there are scuba divers from the police in the water directing the boats. And it's pretty neat.
And so in the past, we've seen a big bottleneck in Canal Canal. Lots of boats coming in at the same time on a narrow canal, very crowded, boats colliding. How does it look this year?
Well, it seems like they have done a good job of stopping the boats at the entrance to the canal, and so now while they come through the canal and under the bridge, they're already in one line and going through one at a time. So it seems like it's working way better than previous years.
Well, I will see you very soon. I'm finishing the turn through Murano and on the way back.
I'll be waiting for you.
Well, this year, our racers are in for a bit of a surprise. To control the high traffic entering the city through Canal Canal and the bottleneck that usually happens here, the police are positioned to separate kayaks to a different entry point on a smaller canal. Unfortunately, our kayaks miss out on the excitement and the cheers that usually meet them along Canal Canal. Instead, the kayaks re-enter Venice on the Rio de San Girolamo. This is a much calmer but scenic cruise past the historic ghetto, then along the neighborhood of Misericordia, where some of the best canal-side restaurants are located. Eventually, the kayaks rejoin the main route along Venice's Grand Canal, just in time to turn the corner leading to the famous Rialto Bridge. This is the final and probably most beautiful section of the route. Cruising along the Grand Canal in a small boat without the dangers of the vaporetto and cargo boats is a rare treat. It's the perfect ending to a long paddle. Our racers pass under the Accademia Bridge, then along to the floating platform where they receive their prize.
Grazie! Ho finito la Vogalonga!
Congratulations on completing Vogalonga!
For much more on Venice, be sure to check out the other videos on our channel. And maybe we'll see you at Vogalonga next year.